Welcome back to Runecast. Today we're going to light some sage in this little altar I have going on here, and we're going to talk about the runes for a few minutes. Today I have the altar set up with three kinds of runes: the rune staves, the rune necklace, and the bag of the Rune Stones. Also have all my elements gathered here. The traditional sax, the blade of the runesters, the traditional Vicky. I also have some of my herbs here. I have the Earth Mother Goddess, and what I brought in today from my yard is a little bit of free fall from the tree outside my house. Every once in a while, the tree will give you a gift, and this just fell, and so I consider it kind of sacred. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some rune basics. As I pick up the stones, I will pick up the staves, and I will pick up the necklace. This necklace is very, very old, probably about 30 years old. I made it years and years ago when I first got into the runes. And what drew me to the runes? You know, the runes just always kind of spoke to me. From the time when I was very young. I think it was about 15 or 16, and I'm kind of old, so that was a long time ago, back in the 1980s. I just fell in love with them. They spoke to me, and I started to learn more and more about them over the years. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what they are and why I love them. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what they're used for and how they're different from tarot. There's a lot of tarot channels out there. Right now, folks are interested in divination, and they want to understand things that don't make sense in their life. And they want to figure out what's going on and how they can change things, how they can work their will, how they can travel towards their destination, their ultimate path in life. Runes are an excellent tool for that. One of the biggest differences when folks are seeking out wisdom through tarot and other forms of divination like palm reading or what have you, the runes are always going to be more introspective. So you want to keep that in mind. Tarot readings are a little bit different. The runes are a little bit deeper, and they're always introspective. For example, if you were to ask the runes something about, who am I going to meet in the future, or who's going to be my love interest in the future, the runes are funny in that they will always circle the question back to you. What's missing in your spiritual journey? And preparing yourself rather than just showing you something that may or may not happen in the future, or what's likely who you're likely to meet. They'll always circle back and kind of tell you something about yourself. So whenever you get a rune reading, you're going to want to look at it from that perspective. The runes are always going to show you what might be lacking in you, what you need to work on. And that's what I've always loved about them. Just a general overview of what the runes are. These are just representations, something that people have conceived of and tried to mark down what they feel. Runes are, and I'll put these out here so you can see them. These are the more traditional rune stones, which you might be familiar with, rather than the staves. We'll go into the staves in another video. Again, the staves are my favorite. The rune stones is how I got into the runes originally. But the runes, you can see here, Lagus and Ethos. Those are the two I picked up. The runes are representations of streams of energy that run through everything. So it's when you're conceptualizing what the runes are, they're little diagrams, little symbols of different streams of energy. They're always there. It's not like they're, someone came up with them and then they existed. They were there before the runes were created or invented or used, and they will be there long after. These are just streams of energy that run through all matter in the physical and the non-physical world. They connect everything and drive in different directions. So what they're used for is when you're working your will or on your path, they can help guide you, help direct you. And it's funny that the first two I pulled off were Laguz, which is the flow. It's a water rune, often represented by a stream or a river. It's something when you want to channel or go somewhere, it's something that will help take you there. And Ethos is like your backbone, your strength, a centering, if you will. And that one is really good for centering yourself and then getting into the stream of energy that you want to use, where you want to go. So there's 24 of them. The symbols are associated with different gods and goddesses. And I'll just kind of put them out here. They won't be in any particular order, but I'll go over some of the meanings with you. This is Wunjo. This is Thurazaz. Wunjo represents joy, happiness. Thurazaz is a powerful rune represented by lightning. Thor, often associated with power, and it could be pain. Some general meanings here. Ingwaz and Hagalaz. Hagalaz is the ordered disruption or change. Ingwaz is basically fertility. Let's get two more. Here's Kinaz and Othella. Kinaz is your fire, your inspiration. Kinaz is knowing, understanding, also your artistic will. Othella is concerned with the home, and as its name represents, oath. The word oath comes from Othella. So oaths and home, inheritance, those kind of things. We went over Lagos and Ithwas. Let's talk about Algiz and Rydho. Algiz is a protection rune. It's good for awareness, protection. Rydho is the journey, the sun's journey around the earth. It's a solar rune, often represents travel. Manaz and Ehwaz. Wait, no, this is Dagaz and Ehwaz. This is Manaz. Manaz is the self rune, some kind of introspection rune. Sometimes people think of it as the marriage rune. Ehwaz represents partnership. The horse and rider, how they work together, a team. Here's Aruz and Dagaz. Aruz is strength, primal power. Dagaz is the transformation, the twilight. Gibo and Tiwaz. Gibo and Tiwaz. Gibo is the gift. It's a balance. What you put in is what you'll get out, kind of thing. Tiwaz is victory. What else we got here? Ansuz and Burkano. Ansuz is communication, god of speech, sometimes speaking with the divine, speaking with others. Burkano is the rune of birth and the goddess Birchta. This one is Fehu. This one is wealth and love. Isa is the rune of ice or preservation. Pertho and Yira. Yira, right here, is the cycle, the harvest. Represents passage of time. Pertho, also a birthing rune. Some people call it the mystery rune. And that one is really, really cool. So when that comes up in a reading, it depends on what else is out there. And the last rune here is Nothes. And I thought I did 2 at a time, so am I missing one? Nothes is the need fire, something that's necessary or needed. And the one special rune, this is the rune for the day. Whenever you're working with runes, sometimes one falls out, gets misplaced for a moment, and when you find it, it's always special. So we're going to look at this rune, Sig, Suelu. This is the solar rune. And kind of I was thinking, that's funny that this was the last one, because I was thinking I might talk a little bit about the ancient sun goddess Sunna. Originally, back in matriarchal times, matricental times, the sky was represented by, it was a female entity. Now, since the patriarchy, for the last 8,000 years, the patriarchy has been more prevalent, and the sky is usually represented by a man, and the sun, but the sun was actually a goddess. Her name was Sunna. The word sun actually comes from her name, so we still speak her name today, but she's very ancient, very old, and of course one of my favorites. So there's Sunna. And there we have 24 runes, just a little bit of an overview of their very basic meanings. I hope you enjoyed that. Join me next time, and we'll dive into a little bit about how to work these and what a rune reading is really like.